Everybody's scared of getting fired right now. Everybody's got listings, especially if you're new in the business, which typically happens. All of a sudden, your listings go from
agents are getting fired left and right. Good agents who care about their clients are getting fired left and right, and they don't realize that it actually is their fault.
You learn how to price a fucking house. That's all you got to do. Learn how to price a house. It's not that hard. When you start trying to make up a price, when you start trying to go, I think, as soon as you say, I think, you're done.
Hey, hold on. Before we get back to the episode, make sure you like and follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It means the world to us. And don't forget to turn on that little notification bell so that you get an alert every single time we drop a new episode. If you want to really go hardcore, go binge some of our past episodes, and please leave a 5-star review. All right, back to the episode.
So everybody's scared of getting fired right now. Everybody's got listings, especially if you're new in the business, which typically happens. All of a sudden, your listings go from, 7 hours on the market to 70 days. And all of a sudden, we don't know what the hell is happening. And I'm seeing agents' contracts get canceled. I'm seeing them lose out on expireds. People are freaking out and they don't want to get fired. So, I've had a lot of experience getting fired. But with that being said, I've also figured out some great ways to not get fired from listings. So I think we need to dive in that, help some people out, see how they can nurture their listings.
Agents are getting fired left and right. Good agents who care about their clients are getting fired left and right, and they don't realize that it actually is their fault. So let's dive in the top things that you would tell a somewhat seasoned agent, because there's a lot of seasoned agents. They've been in the business 5-7 years and they're still getting fired left and right. So what are your top 3 mistakes they're making, and what do they need to do to obtain that listing and get paid?
So people can either hear me and do it, or you can tell me it's not going to work and good fucking luck. Okay. So I just want to go out there. I've done 3,500 transactions. I used to carry 100-something listings back in the recession. Like, I learned how not to get fired because that's what we had to do when we're carrying a bunch of shit. Yes. So I don't care. Whatever. You got something better, drop in the comments. I'd love to know because I want to share it with my agents. But first, guys, it's all about the expectations. It's all about the appointment. It's all about when you're meeting with somebody the first time, before you even get to paperwork. Here's how I work. So we have 9 slides that we go through that just talk about our theories. Because what I tell clients is, here's my theory on what's going to happen. My theory is I'm going to give you a price range and hopefully you like it. And we come to a meeting of the minds. But once we go live, I'm no longer in theory mode. We're here to prove it, but there's a lot of outside influences. Nationally, it could be recessions, it could be wars, it could be pandemics that I can't control, but it also can be interest rates. It could also be base closures locally. It could be all kinds of things. So that's where I become your guide. We came to a price on the numbers. We're okay with the numbers because we have math to back up our said numbers, but things can happen after that. So what will happen, Mr. Seller, is once we go live, every 2 weeks, I will have a business phone call with you. Now, we'll call, text, and email as much as you want. Do not hold back. I need to know if you've got a question. I want to help you in the moment. But just like a stock, if you're watching stock prices every single day, you're going to go nuts. But if you watch them over a little bit of time, you can see some trends. So every 2 weeks, I'm going to have a business phone call with you. The first 2 weeks, we're just going to chat. Are we getting two to three showings a week? And that's what y'all need to figure out in your local markets. If we are, people saw the pictures, saw the price, came in the house. We're winning. Price is good. I'm not worried about price because they have come. After that, if we're not getting 2 or 3 showings a week, what would happen? I'm going to call my frenemies down the street. So before our 2-week call, Mr. Seller, I'm calling my other friends that have listings in the market to see if they're getting showings. If they are and we're not, they've rejected us. We've got to talk. But anyways, we do this on 2-week increments. At the end of 2 weeks, I will give you a new CMA, just like I did just now. And we're going to see, are we a sore thumb sticking out? Did the active houses we're competing with go under contract? Did the under contracts close? What do we look like right now? And then we have a discussion. So by doing this, at the moment, I have just laid out to them what they can expect and when they can expect it and how we're going to stay relevant in pricing in the market. Not reactionary. We're going to stay active, and it's going to allow them to have some breathing room too. So that's my first step, is go there. My second is, before we get there, is price. You learn how to price a fucking house. That's all you got to do. Learn how to price a house. It's not that hard. When you start trying to make up a price, when you start trying to go, I think, as soon as you say, I think, you're done. It is math. It is there or it's not there. The I thinks get you fired. The I thinks don't get you paid. It's the, this is the numbers because these are the numbers and these should be the numbers and I should make money. So sorry, I get really hot about this shit because people
Dude,
try and make
my
shit.
back in the day, I see agents right now, they're justifying prices, right? They're going, oh, I think we could get 350, and they're justifying price, not getting clear on what would it take to sell, right? And I had a coach years ago, he said, next week on our call, you're going to go through all of your, I had like 30 listings time. You're going to go through 30 listings. Next to that listing, you're going to write down what price would it need to be at to sell within a week. And he said, if it doesn't, if it's, him exactly what it was, but like basically, if I justify, said nope, it's at a great price, I owed him $1,000 if it wasn't sold a week later. Now, if I admitted it was overpriced, that was different. But he said, nope, you said it was going to be this, and it was $1,000 for everyone. And it forced me to get clear on like, am I justifying this price or is this actually the price?
Right.
And then the other thing is like, stop apologizing. So many people are stuck in this 2021 mindset, and they go, I'm so sorry the market's changed. I'm so sorry it's going to take us 3 weeks to get the home sold. Your job is not to apologize for the stock price they missed out on 5 months ago. Your job is to educate them on here's the market, here's the opportunity, here's what we're seeing, here's what we do different. But stop apologizing and write this down. Start enrolling and inviting. Enroll them into the reality of the market. Invite them to become your partner in getting them where they want to go. Stop pushing and trying to convince, and also start enrolling and inviting. And to your point, have a 16-week touch plan.
Yeah.
If you had to talk to them for 16 weeks, what would you do on a weekly basis?
Yeah.
And you got yours down. 2 weeks, we're going to do this. 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever that plan is, you better have that figured out. If it sells in 4, phenomenal. But most agents are running away from their sellers because they don't know what to say. So they're inadvertently not talking to them, which is the absolute worst thing you could do.
Yeah, nobody's ever gotten fired for over communication. You might have those clients who are like, hey, just call me when you get a contract. That's cool. I'm still going to call you when I said I'm going to call you. But I think one of the things people are missing right now with pricing too is one thing I want to point out. If you're using comps, hopefully you're not, from 2 or 3 years ago, or even recently, and they went for over asking price. And we're still seeing over asking with cash making up the difference. I do not factor in that cash over asking. I go back to what the original asking price was when it went under contract. It's a little bit of digging. Because that cash on top, that's a bonus. That's a tip. That's not what the house is worth, right? They just did it to win it. We know what the price was because that's what brought the attention. So don't overprice your house because of some of the comps. And I would put more and more emphasis on 2 things. One, days on market. Know the absorption rate, no days on market. That's your even. So if you can tell them, hey, the average is 60 days, guys, you got time. Relax. But also, when it comes to days on market, you need to look at expireds, because expireds are more important than anything right now, because you get to see what didn't work. Hey, this house like ours listed at 350, but it went off, it expired, came back at 325 and it sold. So we just saw the market reject at 350.
Nobody's looking at expires. Nobody's looking at expired. That's so smart, Brad. Absolutely. Yes. There's this huge market that nobody's looking at. It's the expired market.
Yeah. It's like if you're going to try and jump the Grand Canyon on a motorcycle, I'm going to see if anybody else tried it before. Like, what did they do? They use too small of a motorcycle. I ain't going to do that shit. I got to make it across. So like, you get some data before you actually get data, but nobody's talking about that. So I think that's a big part of it as well.
So, and then the last thing that I would say is, I got a client who's taking, 10 listings a week right now. And that's all he does. And one of the big shifts he needed to make was he needed to match their motivation. And what I mean by that was he was attempting to have the same motivation level for every client. Like, hey, it's been 2 weeks. We don't have an offer. We got to drop the price. Some people had time. Yep. So he needed to go back and go like, hey, what's an A, B, and C seller in a sense, right? Like A is like, if we don't have an offer in 7 days, we got to get crazy on this thing, right? Because that's what they need. A B seller is more someone that, hey, every week, every 2 weeks, we're going to check the market, see what it's telling us, and make some adjustments. And then the C buyer is like, hey, if a unicorn comes along and offers us this wild number, but he needed to kind of temper his and match their cadence more effectively, because he was kind of trying to talk to them all as if they all had the same motivation.
Sure.
And they just didn't. And that was okay to adjust his cadence with them a little bit based on their motivation. Yeah.
And I think you made a really good point. And I forget who taught me this, but I don't necessarily do it, but it works. Same thing. You have the ABCs of motivation, like A, they got to move today. C, they got time. But you also need to learn their feedback, their follow-up cadence. Do they want to be updated once a week, or are they a 3-a-week guy? So you can be an A3, right? The high motivation, but leave me alone kind of thing. So you also got to mimic that, because some people are going to think you're not following up enough. Some are going to be too much. But at the end of the day, it's you got to know who they are. And you know that by, you got to ask the questions. Like, what's the goal here? Are we trying to get the most money? Or are we trying to move? Because it's the scales of justice. They to equal them out, you want to sell it for as much as possible, but also as fast as possible. If one's off, you're going to be off on the other one, and it's going to suck real bad. So I think that's part of it.
It's okay to have the conversation with them. Hey, if you wanted to sell, if you needed to sell in a week, here's some of the things that we would do. Right. What I hear you saying is we've got some time. So our cadence is going to be a little different than if you were someone who had to sell to, get to Chicago by next week. Here's the one thing I want to let you know is some people do need to get to Chicago by next week.
Yep.
So we're going to consistently have new people entering the market that do need to get to Chicago by next week. So we just want to keep that in mind. But here's the cadence we're going to have based on what I'm hearing your motivation is that are we on the same page?
Yeah. And I do think one thing I want to stress too is I'm hearing it a lot, even personally from my own agents, like, hey, it's going to be a longer period. So let's start here and see if we can get it and then come down, right? If we need to. And what's been happening a lot is right before we go to list, like go to live, they'll be like, hey, I want to go up 20 grand. Well, I know we agreed at 400. I think 420 is the number. And you've done all this work, you've taken the photos, you've got all the marketing done, and you're supposed to literally hit the button to go live tomorrow. And all of a sudden they want to jack at 20,000. So do you tell those people to piss off and lose all your time and energy and money? Or do you say, hey, I'll try it? Personally, I don't think you should try it, but I think you should also have had the conversation that explains to them that the math is the math and the math is going to drive it. So what I want to tell agents now is price it accurately. Don't fluff it. Don't underprice it. I think that's wrong too. Price it accurately, and the market will drive up the price if it's worth it. It will, 100%. I still see over asking multiple offers, but if you price it wrong to start with, and I'm taking this full circle, you are going to get fired. It's not that hard. You overprice it, you're going to get fired. So I'd rather not take a listing than overprice it.
Absolutely. Yep. I 100% agree, my friend.
What else I got? My numbers. Yeah. And always refer back to the numbers. Always do a seller's net. Always refer back to numbers. If you refer back to numbers, it's not a, I think we should be able to do this. I think we could do this. It's what are the numbers telling us? And they can argue math, but they're not going to be right. It just is. Math.
And I think it goes to enrolling them too. I think that's such a huge part, right? It's going, let's figure out what the absorption rate is. So, okay, there's 30 homes on the market. Hey, would you write down 30? Perfect. Hey, Mr. Seller, would you divide that by blank? Hey, okay, what's that number? Perfect. Okay, so what that tells us, like, get them to do some of the math like alongside of you. So it's not just you dumping numbers on them. It's kind of like them doing it with you to get their enrollment. I think that's part of the process. It's not just peppering them. Somebody's like, get a piece of paper out, write some stuff down, have them be part of it to help them really, really understand where you're going with this. And I think that underneath all of this, man, it really is, like you said at the very beginning, expectations. And one of the great things I had a coach years ago say to me, he said, are you having the conversation with them that you're having about them in your head? Meaning, having the conversation with them that I wish someone was having with me, right? Am I allowing them to overprice because they're very aware, or am I allowing them to overprice because I'm just not skilled in helping them see the reality of the market?
Yeah.
Right. It's like, don't walk out of a house and go, well, it's never going to sell at that price unless I actually communicate that with them.
Man, if I had $1 for every time she goes, I know it's overpriced, but like, there's no but. Like, you took an overpriced listing. Like,
maybe 3 strikes, you're fired from real estate if you do that. Yes.
But
yes.
The last thing I want to insist on people is quit taking half-ass listings and not having in the best possible light. It's like buying a Ferrari that you could buy a Ferrari off of Canva. I mean, not Canva. What is it? Carvana. It wouldn't be the same experience, right? So you're trying to get a house, sell it for the most amount of money, but there's shit on the floor. There's shoes in the room. It smells like crap. The walls are all beat to hell. Like, take the time to come in and be professional and be like, you want a top dollar, we need a top product. I'm not saying go replace the granite, but like, have some balls.
And one more thing on this is acknowledge that we're in a different market. If you've been in this market for a while, one of my clients who's taking a phenomenal amount of listings right now is in kind of a luxury market and what's interesting is I had to convince him to take 20% less listings, meaning listings he would have taken 3 years ago because it would have worked out. The market would have caught up. Something would have happened. Like, we would have figured out, right? Those ones are not working out. So he's literally taking less listings, but there's so much more quality. And his turnover is so much better because his head's in such a better place. He's making more money by taking less listings because the market isn't just catching up. There's no just magic miracles coming around the corner, at least for right now.
No, and this wasn't asked for, but like y'all, if you want some help on your listing strategy, your plans and stuff like that, y'all need to reach out to Wayne at Hero Nation. Get on his call log, see if you're a good fit. He can help turn around some things. He'll make you more money than you can imagine if you just listen to some outside influences and some expertise from him. So make sure you hit him up at the Hero Nation. That was my plug right there. Actually, you need to start.
Hey, that was phenomenal. That was yeah. There we go.
Sweet. All right, go list houses. Don't get fired.
List better. Stop getting fired.
No shit. Good luck.